Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
What the hell is going on with Star Wars?
I don't know. No one knows.
Nobody knows. Kathleen Kennedy doesn't even seem to know. Bob Iger doesn't seem to know.
Basically, at this point, anything they think is going to anger the fans is what they're going with.
That seemed to be the purpose of this year's celebration, wasn't it? Just like everything that would set off a certain subsection of Star Wars fans.
You mean the long-term ones, the ones that kept it there for decades? Those ones?
The old school fans. Anything that would potentially anger the old school fans, let's do that. Let's announce that just to see what happens, then call them names again. Again, a lot of the decisions are, I'm being polite, they're counterintuitive to where the market actually is. Okay? The Star Wars sequels declined movie over movie, so let's do another Rey Skywalker movie because that makes complete sense.
And the one thing people liked was The Mandalorian. So, you know, this season has been very clear that it's not The Mandalorian of the past. So now The Mandalorian could be anybody. Remember they tried this, anybody could be a Jedi? Well, anybody could be The Mandalorian.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, I'm getting a lot of mixed messages here. I'm to the point now, I'm gonna say I don't care about Star Wars.
Well, she's just gonna cancel it all anyway. I mean, they're making these big announcements which they've made before at Celebration, and then they turn around and cancel. Yeah. So I mean, who cares? She's gonna cancel half of it anyway.
So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Geeky will give you a woohoo.
Woohoo!
Thank you so much for the support. And yeah, we've been talking a lot about Star Wars. We don't talk nearly as much about Star Wars as we used to because, one, nobody seems to know what's up with Star Wars other than endless streaming shows. And two, Disney Star Wars, we both checked out from Disney Star Wars. I can't even watch the original trilogy anymore.
Well, it doesn't matter if you check out. Well, she said, when everybody's bringing up the point that she's probably gonna cancel half these anyway. But even if you want to stick around Star Wars, you're not allowed to have an opinion unless it goes along with them. So I was on Twitter, and then this holocron, the praise for Daisy Ridley and Moses Ingram this weekend shows that hate has no place in the fandom. And it's like, okay, I agree, hate has no place in the fandom. But here, once again, it was just to be like, they love yes, Queen, they love our women. So anybody who disagrees, it's a hate in the fandom. And I said, you know, I'm sure a very, very small group of people were histophobic. I'm 100% sure people said stuff. I am.
Oh, yeah.
The majority just didn't like their characters. This is not hate. I really wish people would stop running with this narrative. Actual hateful people suck, but many are just being lumped in unfairly. And they're like, well, this is a positive post. I'm like, yes, they're talking about, look, we're going to rub it in your face about these two women. And the implication is hate has no place. So if you didn't like them, you're a hateful person and you have no place in the fandom. That's the implication.
It's more than an implication.
I mean, am I wrong? Is that how it's read?
They used their female and minority leads in Disney Star Wars as meat shields and threw them at the fans to create problems. I think this was some harebrained marketing, like, oh, we'll show the executives that old Star Wars fans are awful, because they're trying to do this with Dungeons and Dragons right now too, with the old school fans. We'll show the executives that the old school fans are awful, so they'll just let us run with the Star Wars we're doing now. We're not going to walk it back to please these people. Mm-hmm. We're going to stand our ground. But in reality, they were baiting fans. They've been baiting fans.
Right. And that's
years.
what it is. I mean, there's this whole idea, and this is why they have such a division, I think, is part of the reason, is if you don't agree with every choice they make, especially if it involves a character that's female or not white, it's because you're an istophobe, a terrible person. It's not just because maybe the characters suck and the writing is weak. And very, very, very rarely does anybody blame it on the actor. I mean, I have not seen anybody say, we hate this character because of this actor.
People have even said, hey, Daisy Ridley's okay. She got stuck in a shitty role.
Yeah, that's what I said about Kelly Marie Tran.
Yeah, I mean, it's not her fault. I mean, they basically, zapped her from the last movie. And so there's probably all kinds of stuff. I mean, who knows what the hell is going on behind the scenes at Lucasfilm. I could totally see somebody like Kathleen Kennedy being like, hey, yeah, look at the social media. Look at this, look at that, whatever. We can't go after these fans anymore. Oh, we're on the right track because all the wrong people are angry. Bob, whichever Bob is in charge, so just let me do my thing.
Yeah, it's just stupid. So they announced these 3 movies we talked about them announcing. And, the thing, but everybody's like, are they actually going to follow through this time? Because every time they announce something, they've announced many movies and they all got scrapped. They've announced different shows and they all got scrapped. And they just quietly go away. And now she's saying that Kevin Feige, never really got a show or got a movie. That bullshit.
That's not, because lots of media outlets, including Variety, were reporting on it.
She claims that yes, we had said that he was going to do one, but it never went anywhere. It never got off the ground, and nothing ever was done with it. But according to Den a Geek, they had a writer on it and everything else. So it can't be both ways, Kathy. It sounds like you're trying to damage control your ass because you keep canceling this shit. And if it isn't canceled, everything gets thrown out and done all over again with a new director or a new writer or a new whatever to make Kathy happy. You're a running joke, Kathy.
Look, there's definitely something going on. I have to wonder if, now that her buddy Bob Iger is back, if she's trying to take the reins again and be like, okay, I almost got gone under Chapek, but my buddy other Bob is back. Now that other Bob is back, I can do whatever the hell I want now. There's nothing you can do about it.
But now she's trying to say that, oh, well, yes, we announced it, but nothing ever happened with it. Oh, and then Rian Johnson, she said, yes, he can have it. Basically, she said he can have a trilogy, but he's so busy. He's so busy right now. It's more about when he has time. She keeps saying, but with Rian Johnson and Kevin Feige, she's saying it's because of other reasons. But if they're interested or have something to present, she'll listen.
Yeah,
is what she's saying publicly.
Again, this is a look, and there's been discussion that she just kind of goes rogue and just starts announcing projects without, We
never discussed an idea with Kevin Feige, which is news to everyone. Every news outlet that reputable ones that cover pop culture news, they even had a writer that he was gonna use in everything, and they were talking about the plot ideas and everything that we've seen story after story.
So, we've got all this drama going on. We've got, speaking of old school fans, this is Star Wars Theory, who's got one of the biggest fan channels on YouTube. And he's basically been shunned by Lucasfilm now. The people that got invited to Celebration are basically Disney Star Wars fans.
Right.
We can't have the
and if you're the right kind of person, they will kiss your ass and, bring you in and put you in the nice seats and everything else.
Yeah, and we know we were there.
We know we were in the seats.
2019, we got the special seats.
They wanted us to go up to the box with all the executives, but they didn't get to us before it started, so that we got sent to the wrong place. You're supposed to go up to the box, but they put us on the floor instead in the special seats, and they wanted us to move up to the box. But at that point, it was going to start, so there wasn't enough time. But they wanted us up with the executives at one point.
Yeah, and this is a guy. This is a guy who's got over 1 million. So I think he's got 3 million subs.
If anybody should have got invited, it should have been him.
No, but he was critical of Disney Star Wars. He said that there shouldn't have been bricks in Andor or something, and he dared cry when Luke Skywalker came back.
That was what they wanted. They wanted to win people back, and they got it.
And then they just turned around, and now they're going to piss all that. Well, look, we did a video the other day talking about the Jack Black Lizzo debacle and the decline in The Mandalorian. That's literally the only thing they have going for them right now with Disney Star Wars.
I was just going to say about the Lizzo thing real quick. Now, remember, the media for years have told you that, that finally Star Wars is inclusive. Finally, that, it's not being gatekept from everyone. Finally, people that aren't white, straight, and male can be fans of Star Wars because they weren't allowed to be fans before. But Lizzo said that the reason she loves Star Wars so much is because they were her dad's favorite movies and that she grew up watching them and they were her favorite movies. And then she was so happy to get the call to come in, and she felt back. She wished she could have told her dad about it because he's passed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. But I thought that only white people and mostly men were the ones who liked Star Wars until Disney fixed that. But she said they were her favorite movies. The original trilogy were her favorite movies because they were her dad's favorite movies. And she's not white, and she's not a dude.
Yeah.
So I'm confused, Disney. I thought you told me, your trusted sources of news told me that it was misogynistic not to like your Star Wars because you finally made it inclusive and finally made it for women because women didn't like it before.
Yeah, Star Wars doesn't become a pop culture icon if women don't like it because they make it half the population.
Or people that aren't white don't like it because it was a global phenomenon. Last I checked, not everybody in the world is white.
Yeah. So, I mean, this whole, like, I don't even know what's going on. So now they're talking after season 3, Pedro Pascal's probably not going to be in The Mandalorian anymore.
Well, they didn't say that. They're careful how they word it. But that's probably what's going on, yes.
So he was joking about it before. Here's the thing. The guy is in The Last of Us, right? As The Mandalorian becomes a freaking laughingstock. Right. Between the backflipping Baby Yoda and the fact that Din's been sidelined,
not as bad as Boba Fett.
Yeah. Now is a good. I'll be honest. Now if I were him, now would be a good time to nope out.
Well, The Last of Us doesn't have to wear a helmet. Apparently, Bo-Katan doesn't have to wear a helmet all the time, but because she walks in both worlds. But he has to, and he has to go down to the demise of Mandalore and everything else.
So, pro tip, he should wear a helmet in The Last of Us when he goes golfing.
Where the golf clubs are around. But sure now he doesn't have to wear the stupid helmet. Now his face is out there for everyone to see.
Yeah. And that was rumored that he was having a problem with that because he had to be under the helmet the whole time. And people were like, why is Katie Sackhoff not
that's a good question.
I'm sure there's an in-universe reason that I don't even care to look up.
The armor was Emily Swallow. She did a video. It was funny. She's like in her kitchen and then he's supposed to be calling her. So she puts her helmet on and he's like, why can Katan take her helmet off all the time? Yeah. And she walks in both worlds. And then he's like, ask a question. So she starts spraying Ready Whip up underneath her mask. Yeah. Because it's like, even she knows it's stupid and people are calling it out.
It does seem and again, I don't even care. I can't stress you enough. Like everybody's like, oh, you guys are just raging at Star Wars. No, I am pointing and laughing at Star Wars. I don't give a shit.
We're just pointing out the stupidity.
The Star Wars I grew up with happened in a certain place in a certain time, and it was lightning in a bottle, and this is all bad fan fiction.
All this at this point is Ahsoka and The Mandalorian. They're all just Dave Filoni's continuation of Clone Wars and Rebels. Yeah. That's all it is. And it's his Rebels again, all over again.
In live action. And look, as much as I liked the Clone Wars, I didn't care for Rebels that much, but as much as I liked Clone Wars, I always kind of looked at Clone Wars as being kind of apocryphal anyway, because it really didn't mesh up with the movies that much. I actually thought Ahsoka was a fanfic character. Oh my God, I'm going to get so much hate because she was never mentioned in the movies and she was created after the prequel trilogies were over. To retcon. She was a retcon. So, it is what it is. But I'm like, as a show, it was pretty enjoyable most of the time. But I just kind of put it in the same category that I put like Droids and other Star Wars cartoons where they weren't canon. And now they're canon because we're doing it live action. But really, they're not canon because the only canon is George Lucas's stuff. And he's nowhere to be found because they made sure of it. They chased his ass off. His old white ass off. They chased him out. So basically we had people working on the show saying, who is the Mandalorian at this point? I think it could be anyone. And I think that's what they're trying to define.
Producers.
Yeah, I think that's what we're trying to define in many ways. What does it mean to be a Mandalorian? So it's going to basically be the Mandalorian about any Mandalorian, whichever Mandalorian is willing to work on the show after they've completely nuked it. So it is what it is. I can totally see Pedro Pascal just noping out, though. I mean, he's doing movies now. He's doing Last of Us. He doesn't need this bullshit.
Well, I mean, it's not worth it. And then we have Kathleen Kennedy over here going on about, this time these movies are going to happen, I swear. Like, these are way further in development than other ones we've announced. The one by, I think it was... the one with Daisy Ridley going to be in it. Yeah, They've been working on that for 2 years.
And the Daisy Ridley movie, apparently the director on that one is like no more for activism than for any directing credits.
Well, that one, she and that person working on it for 2 years.
Oh, God.
To close that,
It's, yeah.
I thought she was going to be fired. I thought she was only allowed to work on Indiana Jones.
This is the thing. So, I mean, is this like her trying to play... not to cross the streams here, but trying to play 4D chess with the fandom, be like, oh, look, guys, this is going to happen for real this time. Just like me getting fired. It's going to happen for real.
No, I don't know I think I think that she's like full of shit. And I think that everybody knows she's a joke. She knows everybody knows she's a joke. And she's trying to be like, oh, well, we never said that Feige was getting movie. Yeah, you did. Oh, we never, those other movies, they weren't very far along. But apparently Rogue Squadron is still a thing.
Yeah, and that's not what, well, it might not be Patty Jenkins doing it. It might be somebody else doing it, but
who knows?
A thing means it could be something that's like just
stop.
On a piece of paper in a vault somewhere in case they ever decide to get around to doing it.
Just stop. At this point, you know what? Nobody believed anything Kathleen Kennedy says until it's actually like, hey, it's releasing in 2 months or something like that. Yeah. Do not believe it. And you can't even go by release dates because they got released. We had release dates for Patty Jenkins' film.
Yeah.
We had release dates and everything. The release date doesn't even mean anything. Basically, when it comes to Star Wars, when it comes to Kathleen Kennedy, don't hold your breath and don't count your chickens until they actually are like ready to hatch because they're so full of shit and they constantly cancel everything.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on with Star Wars at this point. I don't care. I mean, the only way I can...
Well, this doesn't win people back.
This is not going to win people. It's actually very easy to win people back to franchises. Again, look at Star Trek. Now, we don't know how long that's going to last. It might only be, hey, you got a good season of Picard. Strange New Worlds is okay, but now we're going to double, triple down on the stupidity. But you give fans what they want and you appeal to a mass audience and you just give them the franchise, not try to make it something else, not try to be overly clever with it, and you'll keep your fans. You know, the flip side is with movies like Star Wars, George Lucas had a story to tell. He told it and then he walked away. Disney doesn't know when to walk away. Like you can just leave the 2 Star Wars trilogies alone and not do any more because you really don't need to. It told a story, beginning, middle, end, let it rest. But they can't do that because they paid all this money for it and it's a cash cow.
Even farmers don't work their field back to back to back to back.
That's a very good analogy.
You have to let it rest.
Yes.
You have to replenish it in some way. You can't just keep doing it and expecting the crops.
Yeah, pause it for 10 years. Think about what you've done. And then come back to it with, you know, some fresh eyes and be like, yeah, you know what? Maybe we need to go back to basics. Maybe we need to go do this. Maybe we need to go do that. You know, maybe let's do Star Wars, but let's do it like 100 years after the original. So, you know, it's not make sense when people are like, oh, I remember the Legends of the Jedi. You know, it's not like they were just around like, you know, 20 years ago or anything like that, you know?
It's just, I can't. Put a fork in it.
Yeah, just put a fork in it. Star Wars is done. It's just, I mean, Star Wars as it was, being a cultural icon, being the most popular science fiction franchise on the planet is done. Now it's just space Disney.
Yeah, if you don't like it, it's because you're a terrible person, not because they butchered it.
Yeah.
It's all on you. It's all on you.
It's all on you.
You're a shitbag and you hate minorities.
Yep, so I'm just going to take my money and go elsewhere, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. I truly, truly do not care anymore. We're going to wrap this up?
Yep.
All right, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys, and we'll talk later.
Bye.
Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.